I wanted to talk about tonight a shaila that probably happened to all of us one time in our life, and could happen again. While you're walking on Shabbos, let's say in Rosh Hashanah, and all of a sudden while you're walking, you realize that you have something in your pocket. You have a tissue, you have some candy, or you have money, or whatever it is. So what are you supposed to do? Should you stop? Should you keep going? What's the right thing to do? So let's first just understand the malacha of hitzah, just the basics. So hitzah is you're taking an object, you're transferring an object from a rishus hayachid, from a private place, to a rishus harabim, to public domain, which rishus harabim would be a place, Madarais would be a place that has shishim ribay, 600,000 people living, and the streets are 16 amos wide. And then you have a rishus hayachid, which is a home. So you have to transfer from the rishus harabim to the rishus hayachid, and you have to do that specifically in a way of starting off with an akira in one rishus and doing a hanach in the other rishus. You have to pick it up in one rishus and then put it down. Now you don't have to actually literally pick it up in one rishus and put it down in the other rishus. You could also, even if it's in your pocket, by you just getting up, that's already considered an akira. You getting up, starting to walk, and then when you stop in the other rishus, that's considered a hanacha. So, and then there's another type of haitzah, which is maver dalar amas per rishus harabim. Even if you're not going from rishus harabim to rishus hayachid, if you pick up an item in rishus harabim and you walk dalar amas and you stop, that's also midaraisa a haitzah. And then you have something called the karmelis, which is, it's not rishus harabim daraisa, but midarabanan they gave it the chumras of a rishus harabim, that you can't carry dalar amas and you can't carry from rishus hayachid to the karmelis. And nowadays that's probably that's going to be the case, because b'zman hazeh we don't have shishim ribay in a city, so that's going to be usually that's going to be the case. So back to the Shabbos. So you're walking on Shabbos and you realize all of a sudden you have something in your pocket, and what do you do? So the first thing to do, probably naturally a person would think to just stop. Oh my gosh, I'm carrying. What should I do? I don't want to carry anymore. But really that's the worst thing to do. The best thing to do is just to keep walking. So, because if you stop, then it's going to be a hanacha, because you left your house, and if you stop, you're going to be doing a hanacha in the rishus harabim. So, keeping on walking. So, there's another problem. If you keep on walking, there could be, even though you're not doing an akir in rishus harabim, there could be that there's an isser derabanan to walk dalar amas in the rishus harabim even without akira hanacha. So, there's an eitzah. I saw in Rabbi Ribiat Sefer, he says an interesting eitzah that you should keep on walking, but walk within the dalar amas of the place that you realized that you have something in your pocket. So like this, you're not going another dalar amas, and you're not doing a hanacha. And it gives you time to think about what your best option is to do. So you're not doing hanacha, and you're circling around this dalar amas that you're in. So if you're in mamish or rishus harabim, deraisa, which usually is not going to be the case, but the best option would be if there's a makom patur. Makom patur is if you have a place that's higher than gimel tfachim and it's less than dalar al dalar. It's very very narrow. It's not a wide place, and that's not a makom chashiv. He says if it's within your dalar ames, so then you should just put it down in the makom patur, and that's totally fine. Like a fire hydrant would be a makom patur, but again, most of the cases is you're probably going to be in a karmelis. You don't have a makom shishim ribay, and there the halacha of makom patur does not apply. So the next option would to see if there's a guy around. If you see a guy around, then you could try to ask him not to give it to him, because if you give it to him, then you're doing a hanacha by putting it into his hands. But you would have to ask him to try to take it out from your hands while you're still doing this circular motion, while you did not do a hanacha yet, and he'll take it from your hand. So like this, you didn't do any hanacha at all.
You
And
stop and take it off your hand. It's not even lafish.
what?
It's even lafish.
It's not.
It's
Ayim l'kadosh is only when you're picking up the item to adjust it so you could carry it more.
Part of your heel. You're not coming to rest.
What?
You're coming so that he could take it off you. Why is that different than you making it more comfortable for the walking?
So you could stop. You're saying?
I don't know.
I don't know if that's considered l'kativ. It's kativ. It's a very specific case.
I'm passing over to the I'm not done.
Ayim l'kativ is only when you're adjusting the chayvus so you could go weiter. So you should try to get, if there's going to be a guy walking around you, he could come over to you into your dalar amis and he'll take it from your hand or take it from your pocket, and hopefully he'll get the hint that he should watch it for you, or he'll bring it to your house. But most probably that's not going to happen. What?
You could let the guy keep walking and he won't be stationary. Give it to him while he's moving.
Right, but you can't walk over to the guy. He has to come over to you and take it from you. Because by giving it to the guy, that's also hanacha. So like this, the guy took it from you and you didn't do any hanacha. Now, let's say if there's no guy around. So now what do you do? So if you know, now we're talking in the case, let's say you left your house, you left the shul, or so you're leaving from Rishus HaYachid. If you know for sure from the time that you left the house till the time that you realize there's something in your pocket, you did not stop at all for anything, unless you stop to adjust to hold the object that you're carrying, you're holding in your pocket. So if you know for sure that you didn't stop for a traffic light or to tie your shoes or to talk to someone or anyone, you know for sure you're continuously walking. Rav Moshe says that Oim L'Kativ is dafka. It's only the Iker is L'Kativ. It's not. So if you know for sure that you're continuously walking, so the best thing to do is just to turn around and go back to the Rishus HaYachid that you came from. Because like this, you never did any Haitzah. It was, you left Rishus HaYachid and it's going back to the same exact Rishus HaYachid. Now it is preferable that when you go back to Rishus HaYachid, you should do it you should run back. Because the Gemara says, if you are walking in a regular manner, we're chayshish that if you're walking regularly, the derech is that a person could stop while they're walking, and then you might do a hanacha. So, but if you're running, you're going to be much more focused in order to keep going, and you make it back to the Rishus HaYachid, and you put it down the Rishus HaYachid, and then you're good. However, if you don't know if you stopped or not, let's see, you went on a long walk and you have no idea if you stopped. So, or if you know for sure that you stopped, so now there's no mila to go back to the Rishus HaYachid, because now that you stopped, so now by stopping, and then you started to walk again, now you did a new akira in the Rishus HaRabim. So now you're doing an akira in Rishus HaRabim. So going back to Rishus HaYachid is not really going to help you. So the best eitzah to do over here is basically while you're still walking in your Dalet Amis, try to just drop the chayfetz in a backhanded way. Maybe make your pockets inside out, or put it on the back part of your hand and let it drop k'la'achar yad. So like this, when you're doing hanacha, it's a hanachas b'derech shinoi, and then you won't be chayiv for the hanacha.
Is there a matter going back to your Dalet Amis in Rosh Hashanah?
Where you remember the exact Dalet Amis? It's hard to. If you know exactly, I don't know. I don't know. So now the problem. Now what's going to be if you have an item that's, I don't know exactly together, but of Baal al Mamayneh, that's something that's very, very expensive and very valuable, and you can't just drop it in the street. Where if the halacha is going to be they have to drop it in the street, or chayshish that you're going to come to be Baal al Mamayneh, you're going to lose yourself, and you're just going to do a malacha deraisa and just bring it back to Rishus HaYachid. So Chazal made special heterim. So if it's a matter of a Baal al Mamayneh, it's something very, very expensive. So then probably the best option would be is to do the same thing before. It's just to run back to the Rishas HaYachid, run back to Rishas HaYachid, and when you get to the Rishas HaYachid, you have to make sure that not to do a regular Hanach in the Rishas HaYachid. You would have to, because it could be you did an Akir Sarabim already. So if you're going to do Hanach in the Rishas HaYachid, it's going to be a Hitzah. When you come towards the Rishas HaYachid, you have to throw it into the Rishas HaYachid backhandedly, derech shinoi. Now sometimes you're not going to be able to throw it into the Rishas HaYachid just by throwing it backhandedly. You have to first open up a door, especially if the door doesn't open up inwards, it opens up outwards, so you're going to be forced to stop. We have to do a combination. So then, if you're going to have to stop, you're going to be doing a hanacha. So then you should try to go to a different type of Rishas HaYachid, and that you'll be able to throw it in without stopping, throwing it in b'derech shinoi.
You stop while you're in the Rishus Harabim, it's not a problem. If you're outside the door,
Yeah, so if you're outside the door, but then you have avaras dalaramas, because you did akir shram, then you went dalaramas, then you stopped. So you have to specifically, be maniach in the shiyachid b'derech shinoi. Right, but if the door only opens up outward, so you have to stop. Like jogging in place. I don't know if jogging in place is considered good enough, because that could be a hanacha, because it could be dafka, you have to be hoylech. Hoylech is when you're, I'm not sure if that would work. So,
How quickly do you have to move? Do you walk very slowly?
I mean, you should walk in, it's preferable to walk in a, the Gemara says larot, so like this.
To open up the door.
Oh, to open the door. So Rabbi Ribriat's lashon is in a fluid motion, without any pauses. It just should be smooth. So until now we just talked about where you realize that you're holding something in your pocket while you're still walking. So again, while you're still walking, either you could have a guy take it from you while you're still walking, or you could, if you know that you never stopped, bring it back to the Rishas HaYachid, running. And if you don't know, so then you should just shake it out kalach yad, or put it down kalach yad. And if you're bal al mamayna, then you should just run back to Rishas HaYachid and throw it in the Rishas HaYachid kalach yad. So like this, you did at the hanacha b'derech shinoi. Now, what if you're standing at a light, or you're standing in the Rishas Harabim, so you already stopped, and now you realize that there's something in your pocket, so you're not in a moving motion anymore. Right now, you're oimed in Rishas Harabim. So what do you do? So the best option would be if it's something just like a tissue, and it's just something that's cheap and it's not valuable to you, you should just put it down where you are, because right now you were just oimed, so you don't want to go walk with it further, because then you're doing an akira. So in your dalaramas that you're being oimed, just put it down and then just go on. Now, if it's a case that it's bal al mamayna, something that's very, very valuable, so you can't just leave it in the Rishus Harabim. So again, you go try to see if there's a guy that could take it from you, and he'll watch it for you, and hopefully he'll bring it back to your house. If you don't have that option, so then there's halach. The Gemara says that you could go pachis midalar amis. You could go in intervals. Basically, the hitzah mar dalar amis only when you walk at least 4 dalar amis consecutively. But if let's say 4 amis is let's say it's 6 feet. I don't know the exact share, but so instead of walking 6 feet, walk 5 feet, stop, and if you stop, so now you stopped your whole havara, and then you go weiter another 5 feet, and you stop. So you never did a full dalar amis, and you just keep doing this over and over again until you reach a place that's that's a safe place for your item that you could put it. And if it's a Rosh Hashanah, again, you have to make sure to put it into Rosh Hashanah with a shinoi kil acher yad. Now, the Mishnah Berurah brings down that when you do this eighth of dalar amis, pachis midalar amis, the best thing to do it is if you're with another person to do it together. So you would walk, let's say 5 feet and hand it to your friend, and then he'll walk a few feet. Right, I don't know. That's a good question. But that's a mile because.
I don't think I ever saw.
Like this, each person's doing a totally new maisa. So that's the mile. Now, if you don't have shnayim, so then you should stop and you should actually. The Magen Avraham says you should actually put the chayfetz down. You shouldn't just stop and hold the chayfetz. You should actually put it down, because otherwise it's not really a hanach. Because the whole reason why you're doing the whole reason why you're stopping is just to go further, so you could get to the Rosh Hashanah. So you could go you could just travel further. So that might not be considered a hanacha unless you actually put the chayfetz down. Then it's considered a hanacha. And again, if it's a today b'zman hazeh, that's really a karmelis. Could be you don't have to be machberet to do that. You could just stop, and then if you're going to do pachas midalar ames, now if you're in a place where Moshe Berurah says if there's going to be listim and you're afraid they're going to come, you're going to be makam sakana. So if you go pachas midalar ames, it's going to take you a much longer time to do it. You keep stopping and going. So then you have the other eitzah that you could just make a run for it. You run to the Rishus HaYachid, where it's a place that's Meshomer. When you get to Rishus HaYachid, you make sure, as you're still walking, to put it into the Rishus HaYachid, kil acher yad, and then you'll save your object. So again, there's basically two cases. Either you realize it's in your pocket while you're still walking, so then you should not stop. Keep walking within those dalar amis that you realized, and either try to find a makom p'tur if it's Rosh Hashanah deraisa. If not, try to have a guy. If not a guy, then if you know for sure you never stopped Rosh Hashanah, just go run back to Rosh Hashanah. And if you're not sure, so then you should either just leave it out of let it out of your pockets, put it down b'derech shinoi, and if it's a very valuable that you're bal alma, then you could run back and put it into Rosh Hashanah b'derech shinoi. And if you already stopped and you realize something in your pocket, so basically everything's the same except for that same halachas. You either just put it down where you are, or if you're bal alma, then you could either have a guy. If not a guy, so then you go pachas dalar ames. And if you're b'makam sakana, then you could just make a run for it to Rosh Hashanah, and then you put it b'derech shinoi. Okay, shechayach.
Why you stop?